Welcome to One of Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. All right, well, it's that time of the year where we express what we're thankful for. We eat food. We watch football. That's right. Turkey Day is around the corner. In fact, by the time you're probably listening to this podcast, you're either getting ready for Turkey Day, you're listening with your family on Turkey Day, which would be really awesome, or it's after Turkey Day. However, whenever you listen, it doesn't matter. It's the season. It's the holiday season. So, you know, on One of Those, man, we like to honor the holidays, okay? And we're going to be talking about a few things that I'm thankful for in sneakers, okay? I'm going to run down my list of things that I'm thankful for in sneaker culture. It's going to be really cool, so you want to stay tuned for that, all right? I also want to talk to you guys about something really cool that we're going to be doing on the show. We're going to be talking about our sneaker of the year. We're going to give details on all of that in a second, but before we get started, you know I got to let you know about the squad. You know what it is. You need to follow the Up On Game Network. Follow the Up On Game Network and follow us on YouTube. Up On Game Network presents. We've got it all, man. And I say this every week. I say it every week, and I mean it. I don't know if y'all believe me, but I say it every week. We got new shows premiering all the time. So much content. And honestly, at this point, anything you're looking for, we got. So you want to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting platforms. Up On Game Network presents, and also subscribe on our YouTube, the Up On Game Network presents, and follow us on all social platforms at Up On Game Network. Follow the squad. We're doing real good. Okay, so before we get to my list of things that I'm thankful for, I want to let you guys know about my sneaker of the year vote, and I guess that's what I want to talk about. I'm not sure if I want to do a vote, if I just want to take suggestions, or I'm just going to let you know what my sneaker of the year is. Either way, I'm going to be doing a sneaker of the year list. And guys, I don't normally do this. I'm not big on the sneaker of the year. I think it's very difficult to nail down. However, this year, I don't know, there's just so many cool releases. I'm not opposed to making a list, okay? So I'm going to figure out how we're going to do this, all right? I'm going to figure this out. Either we're going to do a vote, right? So I'm going to dwindle it down to a top 10, and then we'll do a poll. In fact, I think that's what I figured it out mid-conversations. That's the beautiful thing about this show. We just winging it, man. We just know what we're doing. I don't have to have a master plan. I sit here, I talk to y'all, and it all comes together. So this is what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to have a list of 10 sneakers that came out this year. We're going to vote on them, all right? I'm going to allow you all to vote on that list, okay? We're going to dwindle it down to our top 5 sneakers of the year, and we're going to get our sneaker of the year. Does that work for y'all? That sound good? That's fair, right? We're letting the people pick the sneaker of the year. I know Complex did their sneaker of the year. Complex Con, shouts out to everybody that was there. But I'm thinking we need a One of Those sneaker of the year. It's probably going to be a little different than the Complex one. Again, no disrespect to Complex. Big shout outs to the folks at Complex. You know, some of y'all stuff was a little expensive. So that was a little expensive. I just gotta be honest with you. It's stuff that, you know, you couldn't get your hands on. I don't know if a sneaker that costs, you know, $30,000 should be sneaker of the year. You know, who has that sneaker other than, you know, celebrities? So we're gonna have the people's countdown. That's what we're gonna call this, the people's sneaker of the year. And I may even recruit a little bit of help for it, okay? I might get a little bit of help to help me present this one when we do this show, which will be in December. We're going to have our sneaker of the year. Let's talk about maybe like the second week of December. We'll do our sneaker of the year. That sound good? Sound fair? I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it now. Now I'm excited. I wasn't excited about a sneaker of the year before, but now I am quite excited about this one, man. I can't wait to see what you guys pick. It's going to be coming real soon, so keep it locked. Follow me, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. I'll have the details on my social media, all right? Now, let's jump into it. Let's get to it. It is the holiday season. We are deep in it now. Thanksgiving officially starts that season, and this is the time where we with family and we talk about what we're thankful for. And there's a lot of things to be thankful for in sneaker culture. So I'm going to break down my list. I think I got about 5 or 6 of them. We'll see how it goes. Coming up next. Okay, so on this show, we talk a lot. I've had a lot of guests on here. We talked about the good and the bad and the ugly of sneaker culture. We're not dealing with the bad or the ugly, but we are going to be talking about some of the good. And one of the things that I have mentioned often on this show. We've talked about it, had guests on the show to talk about it. It's one major change that happened in sneaker culture since the pandemic. Since the pandemic is it's not really over, but since we've been back outside, one cool thing and the thing that I am definitely thankful for is larger sneaker stocks. That's right, larger quantity of sneakers hitting the stores. Now, when it comes to super duper hype, and by the way, I made a prediction on this show about the lost and found ones. I was 100% wrong about the lost and found ones. I thought that would be an easy cop. A lot of people took massive L's on that one. So when it comes to larger hype sneakers like the Armand Maniers, the Travis Scotts, lost and found ones, things like that, it's still difficult to get your hands on those. But you know what? That's okay. There should be some hype. There should be some things that are, you still have to kind of like chase and hunt or what have you. The hunt is still a big deal. But when it comes to just average GRs and just stuff that just like, just a Jordan 11 or, a 13 or a 6 or, some 4s, some 3s, even some 1s, or when it comes to New Balance, things like that, you should be able to cop those, right? People need to be able to have those on their feet. And that has been the case this year. It's been pretty amazing to walk into a store and see sneakers sitting again. Imagine that, right? Imagine there was a time back in the day when you could just walk into a store and be like, oh, I want those. Maybe I want those. Well, you can do that again. I was in Dick's Sporting Good earlier. I always mention Dick's Sporting Good. They need to give me a sponsorship. Anyway, I was in Dick's Sporting Good the other day, and I saw a pair, I think you call them like the True Blue 13s, just sitting in Dick's Sporting Good. Like, wow, like that's a sneaker that over the pandemic, people would have tried to gobble that one up and sell them resale. So I'm very, very thankful that there's a larger stock of sneakers out there, because at the end of the day, whether you're a collector or you just somebody that just likes to be stylish, whatever it is, you have to be able to buy the sneaker. And when the market became, when the sellers were dictating the market and everything was overpriced, I always talk about the Taxi One. People like that Taxi One video, by the way. But when you talk about that Taxi One and what that would have cost in 2018, 2019, 2020, would have been outrageous. The fact that that was a great release, there was a large quantity of them, that sneaker is actually restocked a couple of times, that's a good thing. That's a dope thing. I see people out in the street wearing Taxi Ones because that's what they were made for. It's a beautiful sneaker and people should be able to have an opportunity to buy it. So I'm a big fan of that. I am sincerely grateful and thankful for larger sneaker stocks. Let's get to the next one on the list. So I mentioned it earlier. I said, New Balance is in the game. And one thing I am thankful for is the resurgence of New Balance this year, but even the resurgence of smaller brands. Now, mind you, these are all like multi-billion-dollar companies, okay? So when you're talking about small brand, I'm not talking about like people that are out there trying to start their own brand, who, by the way, I'm starting to see that, and I'm actually thankful for that as well. And I'm going to have some of you guys on the show. I'm going to work on that next year, really focusing and featuring on some smaller brands and just kind of hipping y'all to people that, may not get the notoriety. But anyway, when it comes to New Balance and Asics, man, I'm glad there's a resurgence in these brands. And I'm really, really, really thankful for New Balance, man, because New Balance offered an aesthetic to the culture that, honestly, guys in my age range, now I know hype beasts are wearing, the whole earth tone thing and all that is it's a hype beast uniform. So that's a big reason why New Balance was, super popular this year. But also I appreciate it as a grown man who dresses a certain way, has to go certain places where I can't be super duper flashy, but you still want to be fly. You still want to do your thing. You know what I mean? And the New Balance is not only like and it doesn't matter what model we're talking about, right? Probably the most uncomfortable model of a New Balance is probably the 550. But if you're talking about 992s, 993s, 990s, things like that, man, you're talking about walking almost on clouds, like super comfortable sneakers. And they finally decided to make them look good, right? Now, listen, I'm a DC guy. The 992, the 993, these things, and, the 990, that was always like a DC thing. Gray sneaker. Cool. But getting people like, Salehi Bembury involved and other big time designers involved with these sneakers, man. Fresh Goods and people like that, man. Guys that are, and women, I'll get to that later, that are really putting their stamp on these sneakers and turning them into true art pieces. Remember, the name of this show was What Are Those? The Art of Sneaker Culture, okay? And that art piece had been missing. It'd been more business and less art. I love the fact that these dudes are making Crocs look good, and I don't even wear Crocs, okay? But the fact that, you know, a New Balance, which is like, you know, the ultimate like square sneaker, and turning those into, and taking that canvas and just saying, yo, we're going to turn this into a beautiful piece of art. Come cop it. I love it. I love that New Balances have been fairly easy to get. Even the resale on them hasn't been like crazy. I just love that. I like variety. I love variety in the game. The same thing with Asics, you know, and other brands like that. You know, for a long time, it's been a Nike, in specific, a Jordan brand and Adidas Yeezy game. I like that the game has more variety in it now. I think this is really awesome. I think this is a good thing for sneakers. I want to see it continue. I'm a big fan of New Balance. I'm looking at quite a few New Balance. The protection pack, oh my God, right? People talk about the protection pack being played out. I don't know, man. You can make as many of those as you want, man. That's a beautiful sneaker with cool details. All right, everything doesn't have to be super duper hype. Sometimes you want people to be able to get your art. And I'm describing these New Balances art. I love it. And even if you take it out, you know, get away from just New Balance and other, less popular brands, even bringing back like Air Max 1s and having like the Concepts collab with Air Max 1s, or, you know, other just like kind of hidden little silhouettes. You know, the Air Max is obviously, you know, and it's not like a sleeper sneaker, but like, you know, the hype was gone. Even Travis Scott had an Air Max 1 this year. So, you know, again, man, I like people, you know, taking risk, and New Balance took a lot of risks this year. So I'm thankful for New Balance. Another thing I'm thankful for, and this one, I hope this makes sense, okay? I'm thankful for thrift culture, okay? So what I mean by that is it goes back to what I was saying about New Balance and the idea of creativity. And also the idea of making clothes economically sound, if that makes sense. You know, moving on from fast fashion and just making, creating, and, you know, just making new stuff and saying, yo, how can I repurpose this? How can I repurpose that? You know, thrifting is not a new thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, thrifting is not like it didn't just pop back up in 2022. You know, there are people that have been thrifting for a long time. I've been thrifting for a long time. You know, I've worn stuff on this show that I thrifted years ago. Shouts out to Dame Chew and other people like that that's been in this game for a while. I do like that it's kind of become more prevalent within, I don't even want to use the word popular, it's become more prevalent within sneaker culture though, right? Where you have people like, shout outs to Jalissa Nicole, shouts out to Soul Wash in DC, people that refurbish sneakers. You know what I mean? You know, some people may not feel comfortable taking like a pair of beaters and refurbishing them, but some people are really into going to the thrift, finding something that someone didn't have any use for anymore and saying like, yo, let me give this life. Let me give this character. Again, it's that art piece of it. And it's also just economically sound and environmentally sound, honestly. It's a good thing to repurpose, you know, someone that got use out of a thing, but someone else saying, you know what, I'm going to take this, I'm going to give it love, I'm going to rock it, and I'm going to give it more life. You know, it's just, I think it's a cool thing. That may be the hippie in me talking. I don't have much hippie in me, but that might be the little bit of hippie that I have in me talking. But I think it's really, really awesome and really, really cool. And I'm super duper thankful for that, and I hope it continues. Salehi Benberry, Ama Manier, Joe Freshgood, right? Union. Black folks, black designers in the game really, really held it down this year, okay? Really held it down this year. Now, obviously, sneaker culture is a culture for all right? We know where it started. We don't have to have a debate about where sneaker culture started and how it started, all right? But at this point, this many years in, almost like damn near 50 years in, sneaker culture is a shared culture, so it's not about black, it's not about white. I'm not saying that, but it is really cool to see people of color, brown and black people, really putting their stamp on sneaker culture and being responsible for some of the best sneakers to come out this year. Some of the best clothing and some of the best sneakers were designed by black people. And like you can see me, I'm a black man. That makes me really, really happy. Culture is to be shared. Obviously, everyone contributes to the culture, but you don't like to see the people that start a culture be left out of that culture. Okay. I love Tinker Hatfield and some of the dope designers of some of the most iconic sneakers. I love these people and they're heroes in the game, but it's really cool to see some young folks and young folks of color come into the game and really put their stamp on it. I'm in full support of that. All right. Mind you, it's all capitalism at the end of the day. All right. It's not like they're giving these sneakers out for free. You ain't gonna get no Union for free. You ain't gonna get no OMFnetwork for free. But just that story and that feel and that love that goes into the sneaker as a person of the culture, I feel it. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this culture, right? I've talked about this since episode 1. I love hip hop and I love black culture. And sneaker culture is a subculture of both. Okay. And so when I see that and I feel that in a sneaker, for me, just for me, again, this is a list of things that I'm thankful for. Okay. When I see that in a sneaker and a piece of art, for me, it means more. It means a lot. Doesn't mean that I won't buy a sneaker that's designed by a Latin person. By the way, there's some dope sneakers that were designed by Latin people this year. Doesn't mean that I won't buy a sneaker that's designed by a person that's Asian, because there's some dope sneakers that's designed by them and been designed by them since sneaker culture started. Okay, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I like to see my people get back into the game, and really put their stamp on it and tell stories about black culture around the way. Girl, again, all the OMFnetwork stuff. I mean, it's just super duper dope. And you can feel it, man. Those twos, I forget the name of the twos that came out that represent Detroit, man. That's just stuff I like. I want to see something from DC. If I could have a wish for 2023, I know my boys from Eat had the New Balance. I remember the Big G, Patrick Ewing and all that. But I want to see someone from DC really get into the Nike game and really design something for either Nike, Adidas, get back into the New Balance game. Either way, when the stories hit home, it means so much. It means so much. If you really, really are I'm getting nerdy with this one. I'm talking about the art of it. Okay. I'm not talking about just like old cool sneakers just sitting on the shelf. I'm talking about the art now. The thing that I like about sneakers. Okay. I've been really like touched by some of the stuff that came out this year. Even if I wasn't able to buy it myself, I was really touched by some of the stories and some of the just the passion and the love that went into these designs, man. I'm really proud of that. I'm really thankful for that. And I hope it continues. And speaking of that, allow me to get even more specific, okay? Shout out to all the black women that really shine in sneaker culture today. Not only in designing sneakers, but in being in sneaker media, okay? Some of these women have been in the game longer than me when it comes to sneaker media, right? Like I haven't been doing sneaker media for a large, amount of time, maybe about 3 or 4 years. Some of these women are vets in sneaker media and are really getting their just due right now. Some of the women are being featured on like the Sneakers app, right? On programming that they produce. And again, women are really showing out when it comes to designing sneakers. I think this is a dope thing, okay? Because again, sneaker culture has many faces. And one of the faces that's really been left out of this, and I just got to be real about it, has been black women, okay? Black women have been left out of the conversation when it comes to sneakers, right? And it comes to design, and when it comes to streetwear and talking about streetwear, right? Talking about sneakers. It's not just like about, we want to make a sneaker for women and hopefully they'll buy it, right? It's about letting them have a voice in the room when it comes to design, when it comes to marketing. And if they already had a voice in that room, recognizing and honoring them for having that voice in that room, right? It's about saying, hey, here's a person that if we're going to make a sneaker for women, specifically black women, let's have a black woman talk about this sneaker, right? This black woman has a dope podcast. Let's make sure that she's featured. This black woman has a dope YouTube. Let's make sure she's featured. That hasn't just come from the corporations. It's come from the people too. And I know it's still not enough. I'm sure there are black women watching this right now to go, yeah, it's cool, but we ain't there yet. And I agree with you. So not only am I thankful for the black women that I've had on this show, right? The black women that I've met along the way, the black business owners, again, shouts out to Soul Wash and the people over there, black women doing their thing, right? That I personally had an opportunity to meet or interview. Shouts out to Jalissa Nicole. I shouted you out earlier. You know what I mean? Shouts out to TJ, all the black women that have been on this show that have shown me support. And I just honestly, I admire from afar, right? It's not just about them. It's also about the black woman that is into this, that has a YouTube, that ain't got there yet, that don't get to go to Complex Con, right? That don't get to go to Sneaker Con without spending her own money, and she's doing it and spending her own money. We need to elevate them as well. Brothers, there's enough space in this field for us and them. You're not losing a spot if a black woman gets some shine. Trust me, okay? In fact, we should be working with them more. And I could go on and on and on about this, but I am extremely thankful for all of the women I've met along the way. You all add a lot of color and a lot of personality and a lot of dopeness to this thing we like to call sneaker culture. I salute you. Okay, and last but not least, allow me to, be a little sentimental and say that I'm very thankful for you. And I mean that. I say this after every show, so you know I'm telling the truth. But I am thankful for you guys, man, because this platform has been a blessing. You know what I mean? It's been a blessing to do this show on this level, on this grand of a scale, on this audience, but in front of this audience, right? I think it's honestly, I don't take it for granted, man. I don't take it for granted. The good people over at Up on Game and the good people on my feet. We all work together and we try really hard to put together a really cool show, but the show don't run without y'all, man. And it feels real good when we put a reel out there, or we put a podcast out there, or YouTube out there, and the comments and the responses and the debates that happen. I love it, man. It's a really cool thing to be able to talk about something honestly as trivial as sneakers, right? As with all the stuff that's going on in the world, all the problems in the world, right? Everything else that we could be focused on, to be able to, for me, to come on here and talk about some stuff that's just something I do for a hobby, man. It's just, I would be doing this if I didn't have this show. I'd be that sneaker guy. That would just be me anyway. But to have met the people that I've met, interviewed the people that I've interviewed, and along the way, meet you all, the audience, and have an opportunity to, I hope, do something that helps you, release a little bit and not have to focus on all the crap in the world. I'm extremely thankful for that. And it's a true blessing, man. I won't forget this. I want to continue to do this for y'all, man. And for me. Let's just keep it a buck, man. We both benefit from this. So thank you so much, man. That's my list of what I'm thankful for in sneaker culture. I'd love to know what you guys are thankful for. So hit me up, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. Let's keep the conversation going. Okay, so that's my show. That's what I'm thankful for. Yeah, man, and it's so much more. I could have did a list of 100 things, man. It's just been a really cool year in sneakers, so I'm looking forward to doing the sneaker of the year list. I think that's going to be really cool, man. And I'm also looking forward to getting with family. And I don't eat turkey, so I'm like half vegan. I'm pescatarian, so I do eat fish, but I'm gonna be eating a lot of like veggies and stuff like that. So I won't have any turkey, no ham, yam, lamb, and all of that. I won't have any of that. But I'm still gonna eat good. I'm looking forward to getting with my wife, with my son, my mom, my dad, and everybody, my sisters and brothers, and having a beautiful and loving Thanksgiving. I hope you do the same. I hope you take care of yourselves. Don't eat too much, y'all. Don't go ham on the ham, all right? Don't do too much, but definitely enjoy yourself. Enjoy this break, even if you have thoughts about Thanksgiving and all that, man. Let's just forget about that for a couple of days and just enjoy time with your family. Enjoy time with yourself, whatever you're going to do on Turkey Day. please do that. All right. Remember to follow the squad, man. We doing dope things. Going to be shows coming out throughout the week. So remember to follow the squad. Up on Game Network, at Up on Game Network. Remember to follow the team at On My Feet Network, at the On My Feet Network. Really cool dudes over there. Follow me once again, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. Okay. Remember to mind your mental health. This is important. The holidays, sometimes that seasonal depression, things like that creep in. Don't let it. Stay on top of it. Mind your mental health. Remember, it's always going to be okay. All right. Remember to mind your physical health. You're going to be eating a lot of turkey, a lot of ham. Remember what I said. So take care of yourself. Get out there. Take a jog the next day. Why not? Right. But more importantly, please never forget and please continue to be great. I'm up out of here.